Across Africa, our universities are full of brilliant minds, researchers solving real problems, innovators with world-changing ideas. But too often, their discoveries end in reports, not in real-world solutions. Groundbreaking innovations remain trapped in the lab, held back by limited funding, weak commercialization systems, and a gap between research and the market. It was this gap, this barrier between possibility and impact, that sparked a transformational idea. What if that gap could be bridged? What if the same research driving knowledge could also drive transformation, creating jobs, industries, and impact across Africa? What if we could change that story? From that question, a movement began.
We realized that the efforts to support research ideas to become commercially viable was limited. And that's very unfortunate because a lot of funding goes into research. A lot of effort goes into research. People put in hours and hours, and they will publish and they will demonstrate their solutions. But some of those ideas have potential to become enterprises. But until and unless you have a very deliberate effort that moves those ideas into enterprises or commercially viable, or even if it's open source ideas, and that they will be protected and nurtured and catalyzed, then it means we have lost an opportunity. That's the whole point. We've lost an opportunity. Now, we've got a lot of startups, and KeNIA is known to be doing well in terms of ventures. But because we hadn't built a very strong and deliberate mechanism for nurturing ideas to commercial value out of research, it means we're losing a significant opportunity. And if we get it right, we can potentially significantly improve the innovation ecosystem and its output. So we then realized that we need to support universities and research centers in their pathway towards commercialization of research output. So we came up with the concept of research commercialization.
Behind the R2C program stands a key partner, the UK government, through the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO. Their commitment to strengthening Africa's research and innovation systems provided the foundational support that made R2C possible. Through this investment, FCDO enabled RISA to implement a catalytic program focused on transforming research into real-world impact.
The R2C program is implemented in the context of a program that we called RISA, which stands for Research and Innovation Systems for Africa. And this program, as the name suggests, focuses on strengthening both research and innovation systems. And of course, when one thinks about research, you're basically thinking about creation of new knowledge for whatever purpose that you are doing the research for. And innovation is mostly to think about what products and outputs can you come up with that would be able to improve the lives of people. So the R2C program is the one that bridges those two, so both research and innovation. It's like a sweet spot between research and innovation. And that's what inspired us to do this, because we are very keen that all the research that we support and innovation systems that we support are able to have an impact for development. So that's what inspired this work.
But a vision this bold required belief. It required institutions willing to pioneer, and it needed partners ready to build what had never been built before. RISA, funded by the UK government, saw not just a program, but a continental shift in motion that R2C could take root, empowering people, institutions, and policy frameworks to commercialize research across Kenya and Africa.
I think everyone brought a different aspect to the challenge that we were trying to solve. So, for example, Kenya, you can talk about they are the government convening, the ones who have the mandate to support innovations in Kenya. So they were the best partner to work with in terms of hosting the R2C program. RISA Fund was just a funder. We had funds and we had these problems that we wanted to. So we needed to look for for people to do it. Viktoria Ventures had the capacity because they had been working in the innovation. The fund managing the angel fund part of it. So they supported very early stage startups. So that then they were good partners. The other partners and other funders who have come into play, like Lemelson. We have now even a KIF, which is a KeNIA Innovation Funders Forum, which now brings all those partners together and is still doing a lot of work in this. We have the universities, as I've talked about. They are the main consumers of R2C. So it would be very good to have them, and that's the importance of it. So everyone brought a different aspect or a different spice to what we wanted to do. And that's why having multiple partners made sense for us. And then the expertise again, different expertise from every sector.
With catalytic funding, the stage was set. But turning vision into reality needed an implementation partner, an African commercialization specialist to combine entrepreneurial expertise with ecosystem knowledge. Viktoria Ventures.
I used to sit in the advisory board for the Kenya National Innovation Agency, and I've known Tony, the CEO, for quite a number of years. And so we started speaking with him for a bit of time about, the developments that we had seen in the technology ecosystem. So we started asking if we started thinking about the rest of the ecosystem, which is not tech, which is based on universities, the amount of capital that goes into universities, amount of research work that is being done, and asking the question, where is the output of all the funding that's going there? And so during my tenure at the advisory board for KeNIA, we used to chat a lot about that. And so then when this opportunity came, when RISA then floated a tender for different concepts to support the research innovation ecosystem, we said we were going to apply with KeNIA in this case. So as Viktoria Ventures, we had the background working with startups for a number of years, working with angel investors. And so then with KeNIA, there was just a natural kind of partnership in this case. So then we started working with KeNIA, we applied for the bid, and then we won the bid, and then started employing that, working on that bid. As Viktoria Ventures, our tagline and what we work towards every single day is democratizing access to capital and value creation. And so we always ask ourselves, how do you make sure that the entrepreneurs who are doing the most impactful work get access to capital? And how do you make sure that investors who are looking for the right opportunities are able to access those? And so for us, this was very natural. We have all these research innovations from universities, and a number of them have not been able to get into the market from a commercialization perspective. And so we came in, our view was just, we've done a lot in the tech ecosystem. We've supported, I think at that point, maybe over 300 or 400 entrepreneurs we had worked with. So how do we sort of translate the knowledge and the experience we've had in the technology ecosystem to the research-based innovations in our universities? And so our goal was always, how do you make sure we have as many innovators from universities being able to access funding, being able to access markets in this case. And I think we've been able to, make, at least cause some changes in the ecosystem. I think there's still a lot of work to be done, but at least the structure has been created from where we can start to build on top.
R2C's strength was not in structures alone, but in people, the innovators, those who chose to push beyond research papers and step into the unknown world of entrepreneurship. Their journey became the heartbeat of the program and the clearest evidence that commercialization was possible. They came from different universities, disciplines, and regions, but shared one belief, that their research could change lives. From one cohort to the next, the program grew in size, depth, and ambition. And with every cohort, the model became stronger. The program started small innovators in the first cohort, all driven by the same dream, to see their research make real-world impact. Over time, that number grew, and so did the ambition.
The accelerator program tried to do two things. One, to train that specific innovator on what it means to move from research to commercialization. And how our training was structured, it was structured in 3 modules or 3 parts. And it had the part on, 1, understanding what your innovation is about and how can it be of value to your customer. Then second of all, we talk about if you want to scale and you have already captured who the different customers are, how can you scale your innovation to get more traction in the market. And then the third part of our training involved fundraising for your innovation, because one of the key things that a lot of innovators were stuck on is how to get money to finance what they were doing.
By attending the program, I was able to come up with a business model. So able also to test that business model, also to get customers know about my products in terms of marketing, all the marketing channels, and how I can do branding, how I can do also penetration into the market, getting partners in the company to support the innovation is quite good. Before the program, I had never sold even a piece. And the reason being, as a scientist, it all ended in having that technology. But after the program, where we were trained on how not to move the program to the market, I can say that I have sold over 150 pieces of the Pioneers NutriWine and also the Pioneers Immune Booster, which is a very good impact of the outcome of the R2C program.
Before joining the R2C program, we didn't know many things, especially things to do with marketing, the valley of death, and many other things that we didn't know about commercialization. But the moment we joined the R2C program, the moment I joined, it was an eye-opener which opened my eyes to be able to see where I was, what I needed to do, and what were the next steps that I needed to take until I could take my project into the market.
The things today that I have looked back, I cannot really call, I don't know whether to have called myself an entrepreneur before having done R2C.
Initially, our research was based on publication, and then a thesis. Then it remains on the shelves to gather dust. But from mentorship and coaching from R2C, we came to get the sensitization of how we can commercialize our products. I did not have that element of commercialization in my mind. So the training sessions helped me to get the insights of how we could get research, converting it into a product, and possible scalability.
Several things changed. First of all, let's mention one of the things that is not visible, the thinking. The way we perceive, the way we look at research in terms of thinking, in terms of moving it from the lab to the market. Most of the research, I've done a lot of research, I've developed a lot of products, but some I've never seen the outside of the lab because the thinking, either I want just to get the facts or the scientific basis without looking at the market. So one thing is the thinking in terms of how I think research to the product to the market. The other thing that changed is particularly how we work as a team with various players to improve my research on the product to meet the market demand or to meet the consumer requirements. I need somebody to support me in terms of packaging. I need a legal person to support me with the legal. I need a technological transfer person to help me link with the investors, that kind of approaches. So these are some of the things that changed.
Cohort by cohort, R2C evolved not as an experiment, but as proof of concept. Innovators were not just pitching, they were building companies, raising capital, hiring teams, and entering markets. But as the innovators took their first steps into entrepreneurship, a deeper need emerged. Some innovations required more than training. They needed co-founders, strategic funding, and hands-on support. To meet this need, the Venture Builder was born. To take innovations from pilot to profit, R2C introduced the Venture Builder, a deep support model pairing innovators with co-founders and providing strategic funding.
The Venture Builder program or the Venture Builder pillar was set up to support innovators under the R2C program who are in the scaling and commercialization stage. So in supporting innovators under the R2C program, we realized that most of the researchers are good in research, but when it comes to the commercialization aspect, that is missing. Therefore, we find a lot of innovations that are stalling in the labs or at the prototype or concept phase. So what we did was to come up and build a framework for the Venture Builder program, whereby we pair these research innovators from academia with business savvy co-founders who help them in the commercialization process.
My name is Lawrence Piga. I'm a co-founder in CrackFox Limited, a company, an innovation in Embu University, being brought together by Research to Commercialization program. What sparked my interest when I saw the call for co-founders for CrackFox is that the innovation had gotten to a point where it needed to go to market, and that was one of the areas that I have strength in. Having been a coach for the last 10 years, and having met different innovations in different programs, I saw that my impact in CrackFox would be accelerated because of the stage where the business was. I also liked the innovator himself in terms of the way he was thinking. After the first interview, I was able to hit rapport quite fast, and I saw that this is a person we can work with.
CrackFox Limited has this good product. It's called a self-healing concrete, and it is also waterproof. The waterproof product has the ability to waterproof itself such that it can be used in areas that are basically coming into contact with the water. Sinks, bathrooms. We also have water tanks that are always built with concrete, and it gives also longevity for the buildings so that the buildings can remain stronger for a longer period of time. We give it a guarantee of 50 years for a newly constructed building.
I joined Felicia Wellness as part of the R2C Venture Builder program, and my motivation behind that was the fact that I'm a founder myself, a female founder at that, and from my own personal experience, it's very difficult to build on the African continent. And it doesn't matter whether it's tech, where I'm based, or it's manufacturing or any other traditional business. Typically, the odds are stacked against you when you're a female founder, whether you're raising capital, less than 2% of the capital on the continent goes to women. So my motivation was to join a startup where I can volunteer my experience and my skills in fundraising, as well as building startups from the ground up, because I've built several startups in the past decade on the continent, and I believe that with the right support, female founders can go a lot further because it takes a village to build a startup.
I have been researching on functional food up to commercialization. So out of research done for many years in this university, I was able to develop various products that can help consumers out there, focusing on the health-conscious consumer. At the beginning, I was doing this in a scanty way, but through R2C, we were able to do a good business plan, to do the financial modeling, which for me, I'm not a financial person, and also to have the right people to work with, like the co-directors I have, the co-founder. We selected all those to come and fill the gaps that existed. With me alone here as a product development expert and a food scientist, I did not have expertise in finance, in issues of marketing, how to lay the strategy on where to position my product. So all these gaps were filled through the program and the support that I have gotten.
My name is Charles Kalama, co-founder of Ongataki Solutions Limited. The specific thing that attracted me to Ongataki Solutions, number one, my background being in engineering, I felt I could add value to them. I've also spent a good chunk, like the last 10 or so years, building and scaling businesses within the circularity sector, specifically the waste management sector, and that's the space within which Ongataki operates. I'm also an expert in commercialization of small and growing businesses. So I felt I could also add value to them on that front. They had built technology for cleaning tannery waste. They had already patented it and all that, but their challenge was commercializing it or making it into a business and adding value to tanneries in that way. So just based on that, I felt I could come on board and support them to commercialize the idea.
I am the CEO and founder of Ongataki Solutions Limited. This is a company that deals with wastewater management, the treatment of waste, removal of heavy metal pollutants and the foul smell that comes from industrial waste. My innovation journey started in 2018. There was a grant that the 3 universities won within the region. We call it Towards Becoming an Entrepreneurial University. And I was one of the staff that were appointed by the university to be trained on the same. After that training, I told myself, now I want to start my commercialization journey, trying to utilize all the research technologies that I have into providing a solution. And that's how I came across the R2C program. Of course, we applied for the R2C program. I was successfully onboarded. Of course, we were trained several times over a period of time. And after the training, we were required to pitching our technology. And at that point, it was at the inception point. This technology had just started. We were 2 initially with my counterpart. We became 3, and finally now we are 4. But during that time, I pitched the idea. And out of all those in the program that we pitched, I managed to be the overall winner. And they gave me a cash reward of $4,000.
Since we onboarded the co-founders have been providing tailored support to these 3 innovations, whereby the first thing they did was carry out a needs assessment and in turn developed a 6 months work plan that has been guiding them in commercializing or scaling these innovations. And the key areas that they've been targeting were areas around access to finance, so fundraising and raising finance for growth for the startups. Also, they've been focusing on market penetration, where they help to identify the relevant clients or customers for this business and driving sales for the innovators. And as well as a big aspect on growth strategies and scaling past the venture builder program, because we are also looking at sustainability of these businesses post the support that the co-founders have been giving them. And so far, we've realized a level of success, especially on the areas of partnerships and also certifications. All the companies have been able to get the relevant certifications to be in the market, so ranging from KEBS, food certificates, to enable them to penetrate the market. A big aspect has also been an aspect of fundraising, where we can tell from one of the startups called Afialishe Wellness, which is being considered for funding by one of the angel syndicates under the Angel Leads program, which is being implemented by Viktoria Ventures. So such success ensure that these businesses are able to survive post the scaling stage and post the support that we give them as the R2C program.
But true transformation doesn't stop with individuals. To change a nation, you must change the system that produces the innovators. This meant going beyond founders and reshaping universities themselves. Africa's universities are not just centers of learning. They are foundations of research and engines of innovation. Yet for years, commercialization was absent from their mandate. R2C set out to change that by embedding commercialization into the DNA of institutions.
We had a research policy, and that policy was not very strong on commercializable research. So through R2C, we realized that it was possible, to review this program. In fact, we invited experts to assist us identify areas that required urgent interventions, urgent reviews, and that policy was reviewed. Then the intellectual property rights policy as well was in existence. Of course, it was not very clear on the distribution of proceeds from innovations. So that also had to be reviewed so that the interests of the innovators could be taken care of. So we reviewed our policies. In terms of infrastructure, our infrastructure then was not very, very strong. We had to develop a concept note on the establishment of an innovation center. We managed to get some potential funders, but the conditions were not very, very accessible. So it is an issue that we are still pursuing. In terms of leadership, because that is also another critical area for rather research to commercialization, the University Vice Chancellor had to be trained. The Deputy Vice Chancellor in charge of research had to be trained. The Director of Research Linkages and Extension was trained. Then we have the Institutional Working Group. All the members of that committee were trained. So we believe that in terms of leadership, we are now in a position, to mentor others and carry forward the ideas of R2C to the next level.
Through KeNIA and NEIL, with lessons supporting the innovators, the R2C program supported the setting up of the Technology Transfer Office as a Service by KeNIA, equipping institutions with the tools to commercialize ideas sustainably. Commercialization cannot thrive unless everybody has the opportunity to participate. As R2C evolved, it became clear that gender, equity, diversity, and social inclusion were not side conversations. They were central to building an ecosystem where innovation is fair, accessible, and reflective of all communities. This is where GEDC came in.
In the innovation ecosystem, and particularly in the research to commercialization project that we've been implementing the last 3 years, the first idea was to ask the question, who is not included? And from that, just be able to identify, okay, where are women in this research to commercialization journey? Where are young people and where are persons with disabilities? Those were the main groups that we looked at, and on geographies, which institutions are or are not included. And so based on that, the focus was to ensure that they are in. That's external participants to the project. And then there was an internal angle, which was to get everybody involved in the project within the teams, Viktoria, KeNIA, to understand Jesse, to understand why inclusion is important, and to ensure that the way that the project teams are constituted keeps everyone on board in terms of the decision making, in terms of who's heard, in terms of who is delivering. So that was really the idea. And then I think even from the point of view in year one when we began, it was looking at innovators. Who are they? Where are they from? What are their teams like within their innovation teams?
Inclusion is only powerful when it is supported by systems. While GEDC opened doors for more diverse innovators, institutional structures needed to evolve too. This is where policies, TTOs, and institutional capacity building came in. But systems don't sustain themselves. Lasting change requires internal champions, experts who can train others, support innovators, and drive commercialization forward. That's why the Training of Trainers, TOT, dubbed Entrepreneurial Leadership Training Program, ELTP, was created by Kenya National Innovation Agency, KeNIA, to embed commercialization policies, secure leadership buy-in, and champion R2C within institutions. Through policy reform, stronger technology transfer offices, and hands-on institutional support, R2C helped universities move from theory to practice.
So the TOT model, again, had two phases. The first phase was to help the trainer themselves to see what it is like to run a research to commercialization program that can support innovators in institutions to commercialize. Then the second bit of the program was the technical support, that beyond just training you, for you to understand how you can run a program on your own and how you can further support innovators in your institutions and the right structures that institutions need to commercialize, then we come and help you to run some of those initial bits of your program. So we depended on the TOTs to be our flag bearers in the different institutions. So what the TOTs did is that they went back, developed an entire plan of what the institutional research commercialization programs would look like, and some of them arranged for trainings, for pitching contests, for staff sensitizations, and then we would come in and support them as they do these different elements. We would provide expertise and finance the expertise through the RISA R2C program to go in and support them as they implement these cascaded trainings and cascaded supports.
As institutions strengthened, momentum grew. Universities aligned their policies, leaders embraced commercialization, and the ripple effect reached far beyond campus gates. Soon, the national system itself began to shift. At the national level, a new chapter began, one where commercialization was no longer an optional activity, but a national priority. R2C was now shaping national innovation policy, embedding commercialization into law, governance, and the government's own economic agenda. At the national level, R2C's work began getting more support from the government through KeNIA. For the first time, a state department for research and innovation was established, anchoring Kenya's innovation agenda. With the State Department for Science Research and Innovation, together with the Network for Entrepreneurial Institutions Leaders, NEIL, the government is now investing in sustainability through the Innovation Fund.
I'm really pleased to be here this morning. We have almost 25 vice chancellors from various institutions, and this is a way of continuing with the discussion of having a framework of the entrepreneurial leadership in innovation in our universities. As the State Department of Science, Research and Innovation, we would like to make sure that nobody is left behind. One of the things that has come out very clearly here is the issue of funding. At the moment, the government is funding in the tune of 0.8% of the GDP. Our target, I'll be working very closely with my colleagues in Treasury under the leadership of the Prime Cabinet Secretary to see that we reach at least 1% of the GDP.
And as Kenya rose, the continent watched. From Ghana to Ethiopia, the R2C model was no longer just a program. It was a blueprint. R2C's impact now reaches beyond Kenya, inspiring similar programs across Africa.
We as an innovation agency will continue to do more of a coordination process. Capacity building will always be part and parcel of what we want to see continuing, but we want to see stronger institutions and we want to see stronger funding framework.
We need to keep doing more of what we've been doing, which is working with institutions, to train innovators within the institutions, train champions, coach champions, all that needs to keep on working on the policies within our institutions to support the commercialization, because policies are very critical for this. But then on top of that, we still need to do stuff now on the macro level, to be able to move the dial, because all that stuff that I was speaking about is on the micro level.
We would wish that this program is extended to all the universities in the country. All, not just a selected few, all the universities in the country.
So the nature of our partnership will change. We will still be in this business supporting research commercialization, but what we are hoping is that it will be more led by Africans and our partners than led by FCDO, because we have supported and worked together with them to be able to strengthen their ability to deliver on research commercialization. So we will still be there, but we are looking forward to more locally owned, African-driven and partnership-based approach to research commercialization.
If I were to summarize R2C into a short phrase, I would simply say more high value, deep tech or research-based ventures.
The future of Kenya.
It was awesome.
I think for me, the one word would be, transformational.
It's like purifying a crude gold. It goes through fire, by the time it's the other side, it's shining gold.
Nurturing innovation.
Exceeding expectation.
They are converting researchers to business people, and it's the way to go. It should be initiated in every university. And in Kenya, I think we need to change and start doing research to make money, not research for promotion with a title, with empty pockets.
This is not the end of the story. It is only the beginning. R2C has proven one truth. When Africa believes in its innovators, invests in its institutions, and builds for its own future, we do not follow global innovation. We lead it. The R2C story continues. Proof that with vision, collaboration, and consistency, research can become the engine of Africa's transformation.